It's so nice to have Karen up here doing her social distancing filming in the garden. You may have seen that I worked this unicorn's eye using grey and then a tiny bit of white in the corner that I mentioned in an earlier video, which is a sort of painterly technique. I'm not brilliant at painting, but my sisters all are, so I know these things. So on this one, all I've done is actually filled in a beigey colour just to indicate to myself what colour the eye will be. So if you've worked to this stage or about to, I'm going to demonstrate this one and show you close up how to work the eye. I don't really like to show you the unicorn being stabbed in the eye, but I really need to show you that the last stitch in this small area needs to be quite small. And as you can see, I've started in the centre of the eye shape. So if I can work this out, get to there. That was my first stitch. I've worked across to there, just making straight parallel stitches. And if I left a gap, don't worry about it. You just go back in and put another stitch over the top. And working with this cotton, this 100% cotton, I just realised how lovely it is to work with wool, because wool is so much easier and it's got a slight stretch, whereas when you work with cotton, there's just virtually no give or no forgiveness in it. So anyway, I'm about to now stitch the second half of the eye. It'll just take a couple of stitches and then I'm going to pop in some silver. I've now finished the very dark green in the eye, covering the area quite well. And as you can see, I've got a lethal looking needle sticking up, and it's up through the eye there and through the centre of the eye, and I'm just going to lay it so that it goes against the grain of the previous layer of stitching. So now I've stitched around the eye, and you can see that the satin stitch, the dark green in the middle, has a little bit of silver on the upper edge. It's just literally a couple of threads, and that's worked quite well, I think. And then I added a brown cotton, and I started at the lower edge of the eye down towards the nose, and came up round above the eye, so to the left hand side of the picture as you see it now, and then I stopped at the top corner of the eye, the outer eye, up near his ear, and then I overlapped ever so slightly, and can you see that? And I came out of the white background just above and overlapping the top line of brown, the first line of brown. And then I came round the lower edge in as round a shape as I possibly can, because it makes it look much kinder, and then ended just within that first stitch that I did in the brown. And then I put a little bit of brown on his nose that you can barely see. And then I went back up to the mane and I finished off my thread in the crazy mane that I've got here. I'm sure that you'll say that my turkey work isn't very good, but actually when you flip all this stuff around and we brush it down, and we have a little bit of hairdressing, which I'm going to leave to the children that get it. I'm just going to go with a set of instructions about separating out these lines of cotton, separating out all the strands, and then brushing it out. And I think that'll be quite a fun thing to do. So I need to add a little bit more to that tail. And then the next thing we're going to do is to add the name at the top, and all will be revealed.